long day, to say the least. Had some live streams, awesome live streams yesterday on my bro I Am Joey Cannoli's channel. Check him out. I Am Joey Cannoli. Met some awesome singing people. Today we are here to cover some. We're revisiting Harmony fragrances, but I'm doing it today with a bro of mine, Mr. Fragged Out Swagged Out, also known as RICO. I'm here today because I wanted to, I appreciate you, your opinion, your knowledge, everything. You're a man who's tried a lot. And so it just made sense for me to get your thoughts because I found out that you too have tried the House of Harmony.
Yeah, I took a trip. Took a trip.
Took a trip. So yeah, I do want to say, Trill Noel is a very creative perfumer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agreed.
Definitely. I like the directions and the concepts of the fragrances.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about everything?
So I'll start by echoing what you said. The overall brand concept, the marketing of it, the branding, the storytelling behind it. If you've ever had a conversation with him, seeing how deep he goes into studying prominent figures, and then associating a scent with those people who represent a point in time. I like all of that.
Right.
I like all of that. And the thing about it is that regardless of marketing, there's always the second part of that, which is the fragrance itself and the direction of how a perfumer goes about creating fragrances, right? And I anybody knows me knows where I lay in that, what I like to smell, whether it's gourmand, boozy, sweet tobacco, that kind of fragrance. That's where I usually end up in, and it's on the darker side of those things. And Noel definitely goes, for the most part, and I'll say most part because there's one very interesting fragrances collection that hopefully there's more information to come out with it soon, where he goes a totally different direction with that. He's into exploring different smells, just how he connects smells to ideas is very interesting. But this is so let me ask you a question before I even continue. This is the first time, the package you got right now, that you smelled the fragrances, or the second time?
This is the second time. The first time I did it with Sia, and I've had a little bit of time since. He did send me a sample of a fragrance that I think you may be referring to too. Not quite sure. Possibly. It's one of his newer ones, but it doesn't have much information on it at all.
Does it have a name on it?
Well, two have a name and one didn't in the recent package. One of them starts with a P, the other starts with a Y. And so
yes, Primal and Yakuse.
Yes.
Okay.
Primal and Yakuse, those are the two that I'm referring to. And then one that was unlabeled at all, which he did that intentionally. So it was those three. I've had a little bit more experience with the original 6 just because I've been trying those since December 28th.
Yeah.
So I definitely have more experience with that than the most recent package that I received.
Yeah. So I with the original ones, of those, and this is not new information to Trill. I had the conversation. They were for the most part very for me very clean, green, and minty fragrances. Absolutely. Almost across the board. Basically. Almost across the board. And I told them once I got an opportunity to reach out to him, I was like, hey man, I like what you do with your brand. I like the direction you're going for the most part, but it's very clear to me. And one of the things that was obvious when I said to him, I love gourmand fragrances, and he was like, so I was like, right there, cool, that's cool, because that lets me know that I'm not necessarily your demographic.
Right.
There's quality in what you do, but you're not aiming to hit this as a demographic because what I like, you're trying to steer away from. And I understand that concept. So in the original package, the two that stood out to me was Xingxi and Busa.
Okay.
Xingxi and Busa. Um, yeah, those because everything else, like I said, too green, too minty, maybe a little too experimental,
Right.
and it just I couldn't get with the original. Again, besides these, even I think it was um Odin Sleep.
Odin Sleep. That's like the flagship fragrance.
Odin Sleep. If I'm going to do mint,
Right.
which I don't do mint, if
Right.
I'm gonna do mint, that's the kind of mint that I would be able to do because it does have the tonka, it does have the vanilla. So in the opening, in initially, it's almost I'm like, this is just regular Trill Noel stuff. And as it starts to dry down, some of those kind of gourmandy facets start to come up. It makes it a little creamier, a little sweeter, and I'm like, okay, this is more what I can deal with. So Odin Sleep is the mint where I say acceptable, and
Right.
then the other two that I can deal with, and I have them right here. Yeah, Busa and Xingxi. And Xingxi was the best one
Oh
from
yeah.
the first collection. And he has a peach cream, spice rum, jasmine, vanilla, amber, and
Gunpowder.
what he called gunpowder.
I don't
This
smell like actual gunpowder. It's
yeah.
almost like a
I own
smoky.
guns and bullets, and
Right.
I'm very you know what I've been doing for the last 20 years.
Right.
I am very familiar with gunpowder and having that gunpowder on my hands. Um, that would be off-putting. So I'm sure he was trying to get a vibe and the
Right.
story behind it, but this is the one immediately I was like, this is good. This
Yeah.
is nice. I like this. This leans into that gourmand area, and yeah, this is a good one. Xingxi was by far my favorite from the first collection for sure. And then so which one did you like the most from the first collection?
All right. First of all, I just want to address everyone. Hey, Tammy. I do agree. Trill's work is very avant-garde. She says she loves Chin-Shi. Yellow Sense is giving us hell right now. She's like, y'all gonna do a live with zero announcement. I mean, we said it almost
Whoa,
2 hours
whoa, whoa,
ago.
whoa, whoa! He put one up, and I put one up earlier. That's a fact.
Right. So, Tammy doesn't smell the gunpowder.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marciel, for the compliment on my voice. Hey, everybody who's coming in. Raph, great to see you, bro. Hood Sense, great to see you. Yellow Sense, everyone. So, Chin-Shi is my favorite, but my favorite for a woman. I want to smell that on a woman. I will marry that woman. I am saving this sample for a specific person that is on the West Coast right now. That is the type of fragrance that, like, I like it on. You know, they kind of said the same. Have you had a chance to try Zahar's Rosé yet, or no?
I got to get that one. He actually reached out and said, I'll send you a sample. And I was like, save the sample. I'm going to just order it because
Right.
then if I like it, then I still have to wait for the whole bottle anyway. So
Right.
I'm gonna get that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that because, like, people say, like, oh, rosé is such a good fragrance on a girl. Like, I could pull it off, but it's even better on it. So it's kind of like that with Chin-Shi, but a little bit more seductive.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, DV? Good to see you, bro. That's my cousin. But yeah, Chin-Shi, really sexy stuff for, like. And when I was talking to Sia, she was like, "It's a love spell." I believe that. Love potion number 9.
Yeah.
The other one that I did like was I did like Odin Sleep. Like you said, though, it's not one of my favorites. It's not. I don't like it as much as I could have liked it, but as amongst the bunch, I do like Odin Sleep because I appreciate the tonka, the grass, the greenness. I'm not big on mint either, which that's the thing. A lot of these fragrances will be catered with mint. A lot of these fragrances are fresher, which not necessarily up my personal alley.
Right.
But I appreciate the artwork, the storytelling. Speaking of storytelling, which one was it? It was La Buse with the leather and the gin, the little rum, the spice. Like I did wear this on my skin. Stacks, great to see you. I did wear this a little bit more, and the thing about these, you do have to wear these on your skin. You cannot use. I mean, we say that anyways with fragrances, but this set of everything, you can't really. You can't wear spray these and get any type of effect. The notes do not develop the same way. So La Bousse, I'm not big. I almost see it like an aquatic vibe. I'm not big into aquatics, but there was like a lot of marineness to it because it's supposed to be a pirate. So you have like the leather, belts and garments that a pirate has with the peg legs, and the Jack Sparrow vibes, Pirates of the Caribbean. And so that is La Bousse. Those are like the three that I do enjoy. There are some that, like, I haven't tried Castle Black. A lot of people rave about Castle Black.
I haven't tried Castle Black, and I know Tammy said that her husband loves that one.
Right.
I have not tried that one, so I can't speak on that. And I've heard a couple. That's actually one of the ones that a lot of people have, and incidentally, that's the one I haven't smelled yet. But yeah, same concept.
Right. It's very interesting. I definitely think that Trill has a direction and like an evolution that he has maybe now, especially.
Yes.
And especially with something like Primal on the way, Yakuse. Some of these, I'm not gonna sit here and gas everyone up. Not necessarily my favorite. Not that they're bad, but I'm not like into metallic scents, so I cannot appreciate something like Iron Bend.
Right.
It's not. It was a well done earthy metal fragrance that reminded me of like literally like going into the woods and coming across like an old steel like structure of sorts with like the I forgot, oxidized metal type of vibe, like unkept metal, like it needs to be revived again and polished and cleaned off. But I don't know. I'm just not into metallic myself.
So I haven't smelled that one either.
Iron Bend.
Iron Bend, yeah. Did you get that from the first? Oh, you got that from the first
batch.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The only other ones that I did have is Inari. Not sure if you've
Yep.
Inari and whatchamacallit. Which the thing about Inari for me, I'm not big on Cherry Blossom. I appreciate the Asian samurai historic history that he's taking on it. Cherry Blossom, I dated a girl who wore the Bath and Body Works version, so all Cherry Blossom.
She messed it up for you?
Just it takes me back to dark times. That's all I'm gonna say.
I feel you.
So that's my thing with Inari is that it just it's a good fragrance, but it's bad for me.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to be like, oh no, Inari this, but no, it's like, there's that. And then Spartacus, nice cedar rose type of fragrance, nothing too crazy in my opinion. Woodsy rose, fresh. His fragrances are a lot of them just fresh. That's like
yeah.
For sure. Do you see any of these maybe being like a winter or fall type of scent, or of the ones that you like?
So incidentally, I don't think he's made a winter fragrance yet. Right. And I don't know, maybe Castle Black might be, from the way you describe it, that might be it. But for fall, and he's gonna have to, I know whoever watches this after this, they're gonna at least want to know what the one that he sent out with no name is going to be named, and when he plans to release it. Because this one right here, I find so interesting, because when it opens, it kind of opens up like your traditional Trill Noel fragrance.
Right.
You get a blast of that kind of like pepperminty vibe almost,
Mm-hmm.
and give it a few minutes, and what's on the bottom starts coming up. And the one thing that I do know he has in here is chai,
Right.
and there it gives off this almost like spicy, lactonic, creamy vibe
Mm-hmm.
that you don't get with anything else, and it really does smell like one of those chai teas. It has this warm vibe to it. It's really inviting. It's really
Right.
nice. This is from the new ones he put out. This is the one that, and I guess he hasn't put it out really, but that he sent out for sampling.
Right.
This is the one that calls me the most. I really, yeah, I really like this one a lot. I love it is
Got
just,
you.
and all of them last way over 8 hours. I will say that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just such a nice scent profile on this one. So I referred to it as No Name even when I spoke to him about it,
Right.
because that's what I know it as right now. But No Name is the standout, and yeah, so I think that's a nice cool weather fall fragrance for sure.
Right.
Everything else smells like springtime to me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Between the
definitely.
grass and the mints and everything,
Yeah,
it's just Tammy's saying that Shinshi could be year round, and I do see it like, again, I see that like as the ultimate woman's signature scent in a way. Like I know like it's unisex. Trill pins it off for unisex, but like if I were to just give this to a woman and be like, here, just wear this for the rest of your life, I definitely see it like withstanding all the terrains, all the situations, all of um everything. So I do see that also being like a quote unquote like fall and winter type of
yeah,
cooler
yeah.
cooler.
Shang-Chi, by the way, for anybody who's listening to this, like, I agree 100%, and I
Mm-hmm.
get the unisex vibe of it. But let me tell you something. Like, Shang-Chi is one of those unisex that can lean a little femme, but I would rock this.
Right.
Shang-Chi,
Same.
I would wear. I like, especially as it dries down. Um, I don't feel like it's a spice rum,
Right.
even though it's labeled, but it gives a light boozy mixed with that peach smell. It
Mm-hmm.
almost at the end of it, regardless of all the different um notes that it does have, it kind of boils down to like a lightly vanillic, peachy, light booze fragrance. Very, very light. Nothing like the hard hitting boozy fragrance that we're used to, but
Right.
just a very light boozy, like tonic kind of peach, and it comes off really nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, this one, Shang-Chi and No Name are
Right.
by far like, and when I say like leaps and bounds above everything else that I smell so far. It smells good on Richard.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure. I mean, guys will be able to rock this easy,
Oh yeah.
but it's just one of those that lies right in the middle, where whoever is the one wearing it, it kind of
Takes it.
it does the right thing on
Right.
either sex. Where there's some fragrances to where if a guy has it, like, come on, dude, you calm down.
Yeah.
You're a little too confident, bro. You ain't getting away with that. I'm gonna tell you right now. But this does it.
Right.
This passes the test on both sides for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So did you smell Wallace?
I don't have Wallace.
Okay.
I
Oh, that's
have
right. That's right. You got Primal.
I got Primal and Yakuse. Those were the two of the recent ones. I'm wearing actually both of them. One on this hand, one on this. I feel like I'm like got two mixed gloves.
So tell me about these. How you? First of all, I'm gonna start with the one that's less like his typical stuff, and that's
Right.
Yakuza.
Right.
It's not as mint forward.
Right.
It's definitely so it's green. It's
Yeah.
green and fresh with a little bit, like, Trill does not know how to walk away from a composition without throwing some mint in there.
Right.
But this is a fall fragrance, a spring fragrance. Sorry, a spring fragrance for me. It's kind of like that nature coming back to life kind of feel, that the green is starting to come back out. Very
Mm-hmm.
fresh, awakening your senses, morning kind of fragrance. Green. I feel like there's some tea in here.
Yeah.
Um, it's fresh. It's green.
maybe
It's
some
tea.
amber. There's like a sense of warmth, but not
A very light warm, and you get that more in the base.
right.
They come, but yeah, Yakuza is, and that's why I told him, I was like, man, I wish that what you were working with on this second iteration, that's where your mind was at on the first one. Because the first package I had gotten, I was like, I see what he's
Right.
doing. In the second one, you see an evolution in what he's doing, and changing it up a little bit. And
Right.
I think for a certain time, I think Noel thought that if he changed the route he was going, he was compromising his creative process.
Right.
Where I look at guys like Aaron Terrence Hughes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who in a video he publicly acknowledged, like, yeah, like I'm reformulating some of my original stuff because
Right.
it first started as something I love doing, which is what Noel started doing. And
Right.
now it's becoming a brand that reaches out to a lot of people. And the reality is that the cocaine one, like, I don't know that people want to smell like cocaine.
Right.
Like, at first it was cool. I got to do what I love to do. Now I'm treating it like a business.
Right.
So certain smells have to change a little more to be more palatable. And I think with the evolution of it going from something he does in his room as a love project to turning into a brand that's sold around, certain fragrances will start to reformulate and become more palatable for everybody. Because if a perfumer only makes what they love,
right,
then they kind of end up being the only ones who wear what they love. So you have to reach out to different audiences. And with this second one, I think he's doing that.
right.
They're becoming more of, you know, people, not necessarily everybody people pleasing, but more for the audience.
Right. And you, I just wanted to touch on something. I'm not sure if you actually knew this per se. The fragrances that do contain mint are essentially supposed to be like God or eternal like figures. So the more mint that you're getting, it's supposed to be like the higher powers of, or a bigger God.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like Odin Sleep is supposed to be the father of Loki and Thor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's gonna have like the most of all mints. And then as you reduce down, if you're like, oh, there's mint, but it's not a mint punch or a mint bomb, you know, it's in tiers. And that's kind of how he does like to do his when the fragrances, a lot of his fragrances, like you said, do have mint. That's like a signature DNA. He loves mint. But that's just one thing that I want to let the people know, that if it's like, oh, this one has mint, but it's not as much mint as Odin Sleep. Why is that? It's because he's ranked, the more mint, the more powerful of a god. Goddess.
Or personalities, period. Because he's moving into prominent figures now too.
Right.
And that concept will start to translate over into historical figures, not just deities. So, but yeah, so it's, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't own a full presentation of anything yet, and I don't know how they come out, but I think, and I expressed this to him also, like, if you're creating a fragrance that is supposed to be attached to a concept, but that concept is in your head, I'm buying it.
Right.
You need to, like many fragrance houses do, you know, even Xerjoff with this little, you need to educate the person who's, so then they can make that connection. Because sometimes even something that's not necessarily in your wheelhouse is more acceptable when you see the connection of the smell and the idea. Right. So even if it comes with a little booklet or something reading like, hey, this represents this person.
Right.
This is what the notes are, how they're, and then like, oh, okay, there's a story behind it. That's why it smells like leather, rum, and sea, because it was a pirate. Oh, okay, I see what you're doing. So maybe pirates aren't for me, but maybe the one with rum and peach,
right,
and vanilla do become the one for me. So, you know, putting a story that we understand as well, not just you, because we're the ones buying it. But yeah, I don't know that he doesn't do that. Or that he does. He might in the full presentation. I just haven't seen the full presentation yet.
If he doesn't, I would make the suggestion, because he's going to watch this. So I would make the suggestion now, since you're sticking with the whole traveling thing, you have the bag already with the thing. Make it into like a map, or like how they used to have the old brochures, and literally just cater it to that fragrance. Or
Right.
if you know, to save on cost, if you want to have the whole brochure and then have every single one with a little excerpt of every single one, but do it catered towards that whole brochure with the whole traveling thing here, and then the map is the bag that the everything gets wrapped in, that I've unboxed and shown a few times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's a good point that you just made, and that may be like to piggyback off of.
Yeah.
Do it like that, but use, to stick with the presentation, make it like an old school brochure like they used to have in the 90s,
Yeah.
that you would find in all the hotels and stuff. So
Yeah, that would be dope. He still has a lot of space to grow too. So, this is version 2, and he's already starting to get ideas for version 3. So all this stuff will be relevant at some point or another. We'll see. Yo, Bernard, what's good, bro?
hey, what's up? And thank you, Tammy. I'm smelling Primal now.
Yeah.
The thing for me, I guess, because I'm starting to really get into these like musky, like Kiehl's Original Musk. You know what I'm saying? And some of these older vintage fragrances that had like musk in it, or like the Roja. There was a Roja Musk. I can't remember right now, but you know, this, it's an animalic scent, but I do detect like a lot of like freshness, mint,
Yep.
and primal at like as I'm smelling it. So it's almost like it's wild. It's an animal in the wild, not necessarily the animal itself. Like like you have the animal and everything there. It's more like the actual animal roaming the jungle. It is fresher than I was thinking when I sprayed it. It's not as fresh as Yakuse. Yakuse hit me in the face like, and I was like, whoa, I was not prepared for that at all. But that's part of the fun of it, right? Like when the notes aren't listed, you don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So I just thought with the name like Primal, it would be a little more animalic and a little less minty. But I think when you're just using mint in general, it's going to just instantly like take out half of that, because it's an aromatic note. So it's not that lavender. Just like if you add lavender to anything, it's going to come off aromatic and clean. This just makes it very, it takes some of the depth out of any fragrance. So if you're trying to make it, I don't know the direction yet. It's a good fragrance, but if he was trying to I
got to talk to him about this, right? And again, I'm speaking for self now, because this is like I said, if you can hold my hand, walk me through the process, at the end of it, I could be like, I get it now. Now it makes sense to me. And that's kind of what initially I felt like Primal was just another minty fragrance. First of all, it's minty, and for those who haven't smelled it, I get something sweet under the mint. There's like this minty, sweet kind of flavor. But apart from that, the story, right? So I was like, Primal, what's the connection between this and the Primal? Right. And the Primal is the individual, going back to more primitive times, who has to go and hunt and fight and do everything, and then when it's all done, come back and recover in order to continue those primal activities. So as soon as he said that, and I took a whiff of this, the first thing I thought about, like an ice bath, like that cooling effect this gets, the recovery of all these activities during the day, back to where before our job was in front of a computer, and things were more manual and primal, as it were. And then the recovery of all of that in order to go back out and do those things again. For me, again, it's still going to be minty. It's still going to be fresh. There's a slight sweetness to it. It's doable. It's not my kind of fragrance, but it made more sense. And of all the mint fragrances he has, like this is from the second batch anyway, this one it's different how he used it. and the fact that he added some, I don't know what he did to sweeten, but there's something sweet in here. It feels like minty, almost sugary,
Gotcha.
kind of vibe to me. But that's where the primal idea is supposed to play in to this fragrance with all that cooling and mint and all that.
Right. Yeah, Siri just keeps trying to, no, stop. My watch keeps going off. I it performs. These things do last. It's good on the oil, but it's not super, like my skin isn't like left with a sheen, which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate. Um, mm, I I'll agree. Mine is Chinchi of the second variation so far. It's like, okay, these are all like very heavy contenders. Chinchi is like the trophy wife, or the, the prize for the set one, at least with the exception of maybe Castle Black and Wallace. I haven't tried those two.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I I want to know what he'll do with this mint chocolate chip chai
Yeah,
unknown that you mentioned.
yeah,
I haven't tried that one yet because uh I have the matrix going on, red pill, blue pill, with
yeah.
Yakusei and Primal, but it's gonna be very interesting,
Any takeaway from for me is that it's gonna be Shingshi, it's gonna be No Name, and Busa. And just to be clear, it's Bussa, Busa, not La Buse.
Okay, good to know.
La
I
Buse
haven't
is a
even
different
tried
one,
that one then yet.
and La Buse didn't do it for me either.
Right.
Busa, I really like Shingchi and the No Name one. And the No Name one, I think, is going to be the one that most
Yo,
people
Joey, what's up?
are
Sorry.
going to gravitate to. Even if they don't like anything else because it's minty, whatever, I think that's the one that people will look to, is the No Name. Hopefully he gets cracking on that creation and puts more heat behind that, because I think that one that'll be one of the groundbreaking fragrances of his line for sure.
Absolutely. Yes, it is a good brand. Definitely check it out. Every brand, you're not gonna love every single fragrance, just in general. If you do, then something's wrong. You
There's
can
not
appreciate
one
it.
brand
Right.
of everything back. There's not one up. There's not one brand that I like everything of. It
Right.
just, it doesn't. There's not one brand. I don't have one. I don't know one brand that I like everything of. I may slightly like a lot, but there's no one brand.
So
So
I do believe that the second batch is worth definitely checking out. I mean, you should just try the lines, period. If you haven't tried anything before, I would recommend Chinchi. I would recommend you're saying Buse, different from La Buse. Uh
yes.
Odin Sleep, because it is their flagship, and then from their new, the No Name with Primal
Hey yo,
and
everybody spam him. Spam his inbox and tell him to put a name on it and put it out already.
right, because it's worth it, And what's up, Rico? Great to see you. Uh,
What's good, Joey? What's good?
yeah. So I'm interested. I'm not gonna like beat a dead horse here. We're interested. Trill, great work. Keep tinkering. Keep doing your
Yeah,
thing. I know everything will be kind of in the works slowly but surely. But yeah. I mean, I appreciate everyone who has stopped by. You
thanks.
know, And I appreciate you, Rico, and I'll talk to you on the side separately. But
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
with
Um,
all that being said, I guess we could just wrap this up. Let
yeah,
us
yeah.
know. Let us know, because I do want to know when y'all do get like these samples and try them. What are your
Start the
thoughts?
conversation. He's gonna load it up later, and I'm always watching what people put. I know he's always very observant. So, and Trill will watch also. So definitely give input. He's very open to ideas.
All
So
that being said, those are unAVERAGE thoughts with Fragged Out, Swagged Out Rico, the unAVERAGE Joe. I appreciate you all. Y'all have a great weekend. Cheers to the weekend, and we will talk to you soon.